Hey traders, it's Taylor with Top Pick Trading. I want to give you guys a chart review today. You can see we had this spike up and then a channel through the overnight, kind of fell over and then into the open as well. Fell over into a range and then had a more recent uptrend right here. So let's go over the trades today. So 8 o'clock came right in here. Let me put on my mouse for you guys. 8 o'clock came right in here. We had this blue uptrend here. We had a break. The first entry, second entry came right here, right into the highs with a terrible bar. Kind of fell over right here, found some support after breaking new high. This blue uptrend. This spiking channel was a little bit hard to find, but because it doesn't really start off of a clean little spike here like that would be, it's a little bit lower. But you can see the highs fit really well here. You can kind of see how it's grinding up right there on the top of that trend line, and then also the midline right here as well. Anyway, we got this downtrend. It's been so bullish, I wouldn't even consider any shorts at this point. Breaking new low, higher low, but bad bar. Push back above the EMA. We get a double top here and a first entry, higher low, second entry. This is a little inside bar doji, but it's pretty low risk right at the EMA. And it's been so bullish. So given the context, you may want to chance that one. Rather have a better bar there, but that's why I marked it aggressive. So we get another push up, strong little push down. Two-legged correction. We get a second entry long here, but fortunately my bar is not any good. And then we get almost a repeat pattern of this right here again. High or low. I'd probably take this on the engulfing right as it went out the other side there. If you watch this live, it moved really fluently as well. It does back up on you, but ends up working out nicely. Bouncing right at this bigger key entry point too. So it's such a repeat pattern. Both of these have a two-legged correction and then push back above the EMA with a higher low. Perfect bar on that one too. If you did wait for it to close, you may want to drop a limit just because it's 15 ticks, and that's pretty big on a day like today. But shows a lot of good momentum there. Surprised it backed up this much, to be honest. But you can see you survived and got an easy scalp out of it. So then we push higher again, and this blue channel may be valid at this point as well. So then we get an alignment of two of these key entry points, the blue channel and the golden channel here, like on a little failed break lower from this little tight congestion here. Once again, a really good bar. And, you know, this kind of can be seen like a two-legged correction if you counted this as a double top. And then once again, we can kind of, if we did see that as a two-legged correction, we get almost another repeat pattern of this higher low again. So once again, a good bar right off that key entry point. This one's a little close to the highs, so you may want to take a smaller scalp or try a limit order on this. But if you did do the limit order, you really didn't get filled until it would have already touched that high or very close to it. So ends up chopping higher at the end, but I'd want to get out before that high. So mark that one a little aggressive, but prices just kept pushing higher and we kept getting really good bars off the EMA and key entry points. So I'm going to mark those most of the time. So we keep chopping higher. We finally get a strong push down here. Still not looking for shorts. Looks like this is just folding over to a range at this point. If you're looking at it from right here, we're bouncing at a major pivot point. Pushing strongly back above the EMA, and then we push two more legs down. And we get this triple test here. I marked it orange just because there's a lot of momentum here, but we're really far from the EMA. And the problem is that first test was 30, what is this, 50 minutes before. So you may want to wait on a higher low, which you don't get. But you want to take a real aggressive trade, maybe that's the one. It's been so bullish, so likely to bounce at support like this, triple test. It's also like a visual second entry long. And if you didn't know, orange is just a tier more aggressive than a green trade would be. So I laid off this one, but if you want to take a real aggressive chance there, maybe that's the one. Push up above the EMA. You just get a higher low, but it's bad below the EMA. Push up again, chop higher right into the resistance, push through it. And then at this point, after you have that third touch, you draw this entry point, this trend line here. And at the time I had it a little bit steeper, but once we came back to this, I realized maybe I should widen it just a little bit, and you can see it fits really well off those closes. Maybe even a little bit wider like that. Either way, it's close enough. We get a nice two-legged pullback, not at the EMA yet, but it's so bullish. And we're right off that key entry point. It's clearly two legs back. Really nice setup and signal bar, so I'm taking the chance on that one. 6 ticks. Then we get a higher low, almost another repeat pattern. This one's not at the EMA though. This, you can see it grinding right up that entry point again with a great bar. So maybe take that one. The only reason that one's orange, or I'm sorry, green, is because it's a little bit further from the EMA, and we're getting kind of close to those highs. So I may want to take a smaller scalp on that one. Then we break out of this, go sideways, and push strongly down. Right here is a pretty tempting trade if you're not really looking at the congestion. Looks like a second entry. It is a second entry long. First break of this. Really nice bar. Notice how that body's not at the EMA yet, though. You want at least a key entry point if you're going to not have a body pretty close to the EMA. It's hard to describe this, but besides that congestion, I've seen these fail very often on these first break when you get a nice bar, but it's congested like that, and the body's not at the EMA. It's just something I've noticed. Those are typically like a late second entry long that trap a lot of people. You know, you're just looking at that signal bar in the context of us needing to retest, and I can see that being pretty tempting. But for those reasons I mentioned, more advanced to notice this, but if you're avoiding congestion alone, you should be able to stay out of that. You can see we tried to go higher right here 4 times and kept turning down every time we get an upper wick, really 5 times. So I can help you stay out of that one. You can see how many people it trapped. Push lower. And keep in mind also, a lot of the times, you know, this is a fairly decent sized trend. These trends get a bigger correction. They don't just break by a few bars and then get a new high. Typically, they usually get a larger correction and correct at least, you know, 30 to 50% at least. And you can see this one, you know, a tick away from correcting exactly 50%. So something to keep in mind. Anyway, right here we're coming back up on the right price action. We get a higher low here. It's a little bit congested. If you got a really strong bar here and maybe one less bull bar here, maybe if there's just one bull bar above that EMA and then the bear, that higher low would be pretty tempting. It worked nicely because it's just so bullish today. And you can see this is kind of back at where we've bounced maybe once. So maybe not quite good enough to take, in my opinion. A little bit congested, but yeah, if you had a really strong bar here, maybe more of a tail and a little bit more of a body, you can consider that one since we're expecting a retest of this. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that. Some pretty decent trades today, at least on my chart. Talked with some others and seen some other charts today, and I don't think they had my bars. So if you did have my bars, hopefully you caught some good ones today. So yeah, y'all have a great weekend. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.